Companion, directed by Drew Hancock, starring Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid, is a horror comedy film releasing on January 31st. I'm Chainsaw Reacts. This is my review of Companion. I'll get right to the point. I love this film. And the reason why I didn't read the synopsis in the intro for this review is because it gives away a major reveal. And unfortunately, the latest trailer, which a lot of people have seen, unfortunately gives away a major plot point to this film. And I understand, a synopsis, you got to give that out and everything. So I'm assuming a lot of people who are watching this review already know the reveal, but it's really unfortunate because if you go in not knowing the reveal, like I didn't show my wife the actual, newest trailer, I showed her the original teaser, and she was like, what's going on here? And when the reveal occurred, she was like, wow. And I'm like, this is why I didn't show you the trailer, like the newest one, because it gives it away. There's still other twists and turns and major things that happen in the film, but once you know, what's actually going on about 30 minutes in and you've seen the trailer, then it changes your whole perspective of the film because you already know going in, this reveal is coming. This thing is going to occur, and it just changes your whole perspective. I still love the film. I still really enjoyed it. I love Sophie Thatcher. She was amazing in this film. I loved her portrayal of this character, Iris, and the way she goes about the change in Iris, if you will, over time. And Jack Quaid, once again, just knocks it out of the park. Jack Quaid is great in a lot of things I've seen him in, and once again, he delivers great here. It's also kind of strange hearing him talk in this film because at times when he's just speaking, it sounds like Superman from My Adventures of Superman because he voices Superman in that show. So to hear him talk, I'm I'm hearing Superman. I'm hearing Clark Kent a little bit in his dialogue there in terms of, because he doesn't really change his voice much for the role. But regardless, the entire cast did great, but Sophie Thatcher, I think, is the standout for sure. Obviously, she is the lead, but she just does a lot with this character, and there's a lot of emotion, a lot of heavy moments for sure, and there's a lot of great moments in dialogue, and just moments with her character that I really appreciated because I love the fact of how they kind of handled her character when the story's unfolding, because the twists and turns are handled so well in this. Because obviously knowing going in what the big reveal is, there are still so many things that unfold story-wise here that I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next? Is this going to happen? And sometimes I was right in terms of reveals, and other times I was wrong. So I appreciated that because a lot of times when I can guess what's going to happen in a film, it isn't as enjoyable. I may still enjoy it, but it's not the same. The fact that I was wrong on some predictions because I was expecting one thing to happen at the end and it didn't happen. I'm like, I appreciate that because I was expecting it, and the fact that it didn't happen, it's a round of applause in my book. Companion is, like I said, horror comedy. The comedy's there for sure. There are some funny moments. What it reminded me honestly of is 2024's Abigail. In terms of tone a little bit, the comedy and the horror and how they blended those two really well together, I got that same kind of vibe watching Companion. It's obviously a very different story, but in terms of the tone that they're going for in Companion, I get a lot of comparison and feeling for Abigail, which is not a bad thing because Abigail was amazing and so was Companion. So both of them are working very well in terms of blending the horror, the comedy, and the tension and the emotional moments. A lot of those tones and everything, sometimes it may not blend well. In Companion, it definitely does. I will say though, there are some small little moments that I think could have been maybe handled a little better in terms of small little character moments because I honestly wanted to learn more about some of the other characters involved in the story. They may not have a major role to play here, but I still wanted to learn a little bit more about why they're here and how all of this is connecting and how they all kind of, came to this point in the story, because it's just like, oh, okay, here's Jack Quaid's character, here's Sophie Thatcher's character, and then boom, we're going off to this house. I kind of wish there was a little bit more because the film is around an hour and a half or so. I wish there was a little bit more information. I'm not saying make it 2 hours, but maybe a couple extra minutes of setting up certain things that could definitely play off and actually maybe make the story better. But maybe I'd be wrong. Maybe it would actually feel bloated because the pacing is just quick. Not too quick to the point where you're not appreciating all the moments, but it's enough to where you're not bored. So I do appreciate that. But I kind of wish a little bit more learning of the characters. But in terms of where it stands, Companion is great because for a long time, January has been known as a dumping ground for a lot of films. Thankfully, Companion is not that. This is not one of those films where they're just dumping in it's not going to do well. I think it's going to do pretty well. $10 million budget, that's pretty good. So I think Companion's going to be pretty successful, and it definitely is worth the time in the theaters, because for me, ultimately, if I see a film after it comes out in theaters and I wait till streaming, my first question after finishing it is, would I have paid money to see this in the theaters? And in this instance, yes, and thankfully I did. But for Abigail, which I saw only like about a week or week and a half or so ago, I really wish I would have saw that in theaters last year when it came out. But unfortunately, I missed it. But I'm so glad I got to see Companion in the theaters, because it is worth your time. It definitely is worth your time. So if you're debating on seeing it or not, if you saw the trailer, just go in. Just trust me, just still go in, and trust me, I think you'll have a great time with The Companion. That's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys see you guys soon with more content. Peace out.